Hello, and welcome to the data mining exercise. In this exercise, we will be building a neural network that will accept as inputs certain features of cars and use those inputs to predict the number of miles per gallon for that particular car make and model. So, in terms of the features, the different features we'll be looking at, we will be looking at the number of cylinders for the car, the displacement, the horsepower, the weight, the acceleration, the model year, and the origin. And the car name is an additional feature or additional attribute that's provided, a piece of data. But of course, we know that that is useless as a technical feature to predict the miles per gallon. So we will not be using that as an input. So, um, what we will then do, what we need to begin with doing is importing the document, and we will go to that document, which is the miles per gallon complete, and we'll click on that and open that document, open that file. And this is the file. As you can see, uh, the first column has the number of miles per gallon. And this is for models that we already know. So this is all models that we know. There are 392 values here, or 392 cars, for which we already know the miles per gallon, and we have all the other attributes. Just as a reminder, the attributes are the cylinder's displacement, horsepower, weight, acceleration, model year, and origin. And all these are numbers. They're numeric values. So what we want to do is we want to bring in, remember this is to train a neural network. So we want to bring in, define our input variables and define our output variables. We also want to leave a holdout set of 20, the last 20 data values or cases, which we will use. We'll leave that as a holdout set, and we will predict based on our trained neural network will predict the miles per gallon for those occurrences or those cases. So let's get to it. We begin with B2, which is the first input variable. We'll scroll all the way down to row 372. Remember, we're leaving 20 of these cases out, and we're going to the last input variable, which would be H372. Hold down the shift and click, and what we have here, we have those values highlighted. We're going to import that as a matrix. So you want to click on the matrix and then go ahead to the import selection, import the data, and the data here is miles per gallon complete, and you'll see that. So the first thing you want to do is rename this. So we're going to rename this as MPG input, okay, or inputs. So that is, you'll see it's 372 times 7. So that's our first import done at 372 cases, and there are 7 variables that are being imported. We discounted, of course, the name of the car. So we'll go to back to our import, and now we want to import our output variable. So it's going to be again A372. Going back up, you hold down the shift and you click on A1, and you have A1 to A372. Remember, it's the matrix. We're going to import the data. And again, it all comes in as miles per gallon complete. So you want to rename that, or you'll keep overwriting previous files. This we are going to call, just click on it twice, and then we're going to call this MPG output. Okay, MPG output. All right, so that's a 327 times 1 because there's just one attribute, 372 times. Then, of course, since we're doing all our imports right now, we're going to go to our holdout set, which begins at 373. The 373 will click on B 373 all the way down to 392. We'll click on that. And this is going to be our holdout set. And we'll import that. Click on Import Data. It comes in as miles per gallon complete. You rename that to MPG holdout. I'll just say hold, MPG hold. So that's all in there. And the final thing, we want to hold in an array the actual results of our holdout set. So that's going to be 373 all the way to 392. And I'll explain the reason we're doing this. But we want to basically compare the accuracy of the prediction with the actuals. We want to do it ourselves. And we're going to import the data. Go ahead and import. So we'll call this MPG hold, but we'll put an underscore and we'll say output, O-U-T. So this is the MPG holdout outputs. This is, we have all our data here now, our MPG inputs and output. These will be used to train the neural network. MPG hold, that's just the holdout input data, and MPG hold underscore output, that's the holdout output data. Okay, so we have our data in here. The one thing that you need to do, the one step is we need to transpose this data in order for the neural network to accept it in the proper format. So we're going to go through just very quickly and transpose the data. It's very simple. So we'll start with the top one, which is MPG hold. Okay, so we'll scroll down here. And this is as simple as going from the top left to the bottom right and just doing a right button click and transposing. So just transpose the variable. You don't even need to save it. It's automatically saved. We'll do the same thing for the MPG hold underscore out. We'll go to 1, go all the way to the bottom right. We'll do that and we'll click on transpose variable. It's transposed. This is what it looks like transposed. We'll do the same thing for MPG inputs. Actually, what we've done, we just transposed the same file. So let's do that again. So we'll transpose. You have to double click to actually open the file. So we've done that. Then we'll go to hold out and you have to double click. We'll then transpose the variable. Okay. We'll go to MPG inputs, double click, top left to bottom right. We'll then transpose and then double click on MPG output, top left. Well, there's only one row, all the way to the bottom, and then transpose. And we're good. We're good. So we've transposed all the variables, and now we are ready to create our neural network and build and train the neural network. So you come down to the command window, and we're going to enter the keyword NN tool. Okay, NN tool. And what that brings up is a real easy way to create your neural network by defining your input data, your target data, and of course the network itself. So let's begin by importing. And we know that for our purposes, we have two sets of input data. The major one, which is MPG inputs, and that's going to be used to train together with MPG output. So let's bring that in, our MPG inputs as input data, and then MPG output as target data. So let's go back here. MPG inputs, input data, and then import. It gives you a message, it's been imported. So we're fine. Then we go to MPG output as target data, click, and it imports. Gives you the message, it's imported. And then just for the future, we'll also import the MPG hold, which are the holdouts. Those are also input data, but that's for the future. It's not really to train the network. It's to test our actual results. But we'll put that in as input data. But again, just to reiterate, we're not using that to train the network. We're using MPG inputs and MPG output. So now that we have MPG inputs and output here, we now want to create the actual neural network. So what you do is you click on New, and we'll change the name of the network. It gives you network 1. We'll call this MPG NN. MPG NN. So this is what we're going to do. You can change many different things here. You want to select your input, of course, which is MPG inputs. You also want to select your target, which is MPG output. And of course, these are your input nodes, and this is your output, your single output node, which is the miles per gallon. You can have multi-layer. You can change the number of layers for your neural network. We'll just go with the standard. We'll also go with the standard performance function. We'll go with the standard adaptation learning function, and the training function. We'll just go with the machine standards. And you can change that. You can also change the number of neurons in the hidden layer. We have a hidden layer here, as you'll see graphically in a second. And we're fine with that. We'll go ahead and we'll create. Okay, so we've created, it tells you you've created a new network called MPG-NN, and it's been added to the Network Data Manager. We'll click on OK, and we'll exit from this. So you'll see your neural network here, MPG-NN. That's your neural network. Is it trained right now? No, it's not. You want to train it. So you double click on it, and what happens is you'll see the neural network. As we said, the hidden layer has 10 neurons. There are 7 inputs, and there's 1 output. Okay, 7 inputs and 1 output. All right, so what we're going to do at this point is click on Train. You have to select the inputs again, which is MPG inputs. Select the target again, MPG output, and then just go ahead and train the network. It's actually pretty quick on a powerful machine. So the network pretty much at this point has been trained. It shows you the epochs, the time it took to train, which is pretty much nothing, performance, gradient, mu, and validation checks. So we want to see how accurate this is. And we'll click on the regression. And this gives us a view as to, it gives us our R is 95%, validation 92, the test is 95, and all of them together is 94%. Good enough. We can, again, the idea with neural networks is not to show you that this is done in one pass, which is what we're doing, because you can go back and you can change the number of layers, you can change the number of neurons per layer, and see if that changes or affects your accuracy, which very often it does. But we'll go with this for now. We'll close this out. It's accurate enough, over 90%, and so we're good. The network has been trained. So we'll close out from this. The network has been trained, and we know that it's going to have over a 90% accuracy rate. But what we're going to do now is we are going to take a look at our holdout set, the MPG hold, just to see how it actually does, what it does in relation to the MPG holdouts. So you go to Simulate, and then you take in as inputs MPG hold. These are the holdouts, the 20 at the bottom of the spreadsheet, and we're going to go ahead and simulate the network. Okay. So the network has been simulated. The results have been stored in the network data manager. So we click on OK, right? And we're going to go ahead and close this out. Um, so we know now that MPG NN outputs, this is the output that we have received from training the network. So this is what we can do. We can simply uh, go here, double click on it, and you'll see that these are the 20 predictions. These are the 20 predictions based on the holdout data set. Okay, that's the 20 predictions. And so what you can do with this is you can say, well, let us go ahead and export this. Let's export our outputs, MPG underscore outputs. Let's just have that in MATLAB itself. Okay, so we can just go ahead and save it. If you save it, we'll export it, and that is exported. Oh, we didn't select it, so let's select it. You have to highlight it, and then you export it. And then it appears on the right column here, MPG outputs. Okay. They've been exported to the workspace, and that's fine. You can save it or you can export it to the workspace, whatever you want to do. So we, at this point, can go ahead and we can also, let's just export another couple things just to be on the safe side. Let's export the neural network itself. You can export that out there. That's a neural network exported. Anything else? No, I think we're good. We'll close that and we'll go ahead and close that. So now what we would like to do at this point is we would like to compare the outputs that we have here. We'd like to compare those outputs with the actual last 20 miles per gallon. And there's a piece of code that we can write. We can start off by giving a total. We say the total we start off with a total. This is what we're going to collect the values in. I have this code out here, so I'll just type it in. So the total is 0, and okay, I think we really have to type it in. Or what I'll do is I'll just copy the entire code and just paste it. There we go. So we start off with a total 0. For a counter equals 1 to 20, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the mean average percentage error, which is to find how much of an error. We're going to subtract the actual holdouts, the holdout predictions from the holdouts. We'll get the absolute value of that difference, and we'll see what the absolute value differences are in percentage terms. So the way this works is we have a total, we have a counter, count 1 to 20. Our total is going to be the total plus the absolute difference between our holdout actuals counter. Now, our holdout actuals that we're going to change that. As you can tell, I've run this exercise before. It's going to be MPG holdout. Let's change that to MPG hold underscore out. And this is your counter, that's your index, minus MPGNN outputs, okay, outputs, and we know that's a lowercase, divided by MPG holdout. So this will give you the percentage difference for 1, divided by that, okay, MPG holdout for that particular case. And then this is the end for the for loop. So it's going to go through this 20 times, grab us the absolute difference for the 20. That is the real MPG holdout, the MPG holdout, and the difference between the MPG holdout and the MPG outputs, MPG NN outputs. Okay. All right. So that should give us our code. We just go ahead and hit return. And basically you see here that the percentage error is 8%. It's an 8% difference. And again, you can see some of these values. If you go to the actual spreadsheet, we'll bring that here. We'll see, just take a quick look at the predictions. This is our MPG output. This is our MPG output. There we go, MPG NN outputs. And let's go to that, MPG NN outputs. Right, and we'll look at our imports. So for the first case, the actual was 38. It predicted 34.7, pretty close. The second was 36, predicted 35.53, so that's even closer. The third case was 36, predicted 33 miles per gallon. The fourth case was 36, it predicted 35.5. And if we rounded that up, that would be 36 miles per gallon, and so on and so forth. So you can manually or visually compare them, just going through the numbers. But if you just want a quick piece of code that'll give you the absolute average difference, then of course you can just run this code here, and it tells you you have basically like a 92% predictive accuracy. And that's just with one pass training the neural network. So I hope this exercise has given you a good idea as to how you can use MATLAB to create a neural network, to train the neural network, and to use it on new data. I mean, we pretended that the last 20 cases were absolutely new data, but any car now in the future, with this neural network, any car for which we know the cylinders, displacement, horsepower, weight, acceleration, model, year, and origin, which is actually 7, as you can see, 7 features, we can, with 92% accuracy, predict the miles per gallon. So we'll be in the ballpark, and we can, of course, with more effort, get this to be more accurate over time.